Hey guys, another busy week as it has been every week. We're continuing on our foundation work today, getting that hopefully close to being finished. So I'm going to chip away a little bit tonight, and over the next week we'll keep working on it and hopefully get this thing close to being buttoned up this week. So we'll take you along as we do a little bit of that. So this is my temporary workstation right here that I set up. So I'm using that as a backstop, and it's just screwed to the back side of that board so that I can make my cuts through without it walking away from me. I'm borrowing Dee Dee's Gerber while mine's broken. And here I am climbing under the house once again. Spent a lot of the last couple of months underneath this house. Moving jacks around, pouring those pads, putting block in. A huge thanks to my brother-in-law Skip for coming and helping us out, pouring pads and getting stuff together. I'm not a huge concrete guy, but it was a huge help having him down. Here you see us cleaning out underneath the house, making room for pouring the pads and getting stuff cleaned up.
Not even attached to anything, huh?
The foundation was very poorly done on this house.
Well, we finally got a replacement for my broken shovels. Lowe's had some steel-handled shovels, which is nice since I use them as pry bars. And Dee Dee's setting her first form board. Go Dee Dee!
Oops! Get out of there.
What I'm doing here is drilling holes in the pad to accept some rebar. We're basically doing a cold joint, and so we're tying together the concrete and kind of making it become one basically, so that they'll move together. So this is some two-part epoxy, and there it goes down the mixer tube, but once it mixes in the tube there, it becomes very hard very fast. And so we're squirting it down the holes and then putting rebar in it to fasten these pads together. The other things that we're doing is fastening the rebar down as we go. Obviously these keep it up in the middle of your pad, so I'm just tying some rebar here. And then we tied it to the existing pads. We didn't tear out the pads that the blocks were on. We actually fastened the rebar into the pads as we went. I think there was 4 sections of existing pad in 12 feet, so we just kind of tied everything together nicely. This is Finley. He's our little helper. He likes to keep an eye on what's going on. And a cool little tip from my brother-in-law: take a Sawzall and take the blade off of it and use that against the edge of the form boards, and it kind of works the air pockets out.
So before I screed this one back here, I'm kind of working some of the concrete back up and under here.
To keep it from running out of that bay there.
Yeah, to keep it from running out of this bay here. And now I'll go back and I'll kind of screed this.
Something oddly satisfying about seeing that like smooth out.
Yeah.
And all that water come to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like peeling a sunburn. Just kidding.
So there's a lot of cream on the top. It's pretty wet. We're just going to let it sit for a little bit like that. Keep working our way down. We'll keep doing each bay as we go, and then after it firms up a little bit, we'll go ahead and we'll actually pop our form braces to keep them together, and we'll go ahead and we'll screed everything real good with the finishing trowel. And then after it gets pretty hard and almost to where it's not workable anymore, then we'll go and we'll take our corner edging and do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Now comes the cleanup.
Yep. But at least we're done with concrete. How happy are you?
I'm very happy. I hate concrete.
This little workhorse has done a good job for us.
I think my uncle's had this thing since I don't know when. I remember as a little kid helping do concrete, and we had this thing. So I was gonna buy a mixer, but I thought, oh, I'll just see if I can borrow it. So it's been, as long as I can remember, this has been in the family, mixing concrete.
What is going on over there?
Figuring out the roost for the night.
Everybody wants to sleep on top of the bale of shavings. The problem is there's 6 chickens. They actually, most of them cram up there. 5 of them will cram up there.
So a little later that evening I came out and popped those top brace boards. And as you can see, there's some small ridges there where they were. Where it was a little proud on both sides. And the concrete's really hard. It doesn't look like it'd be workable, but you start running your trowel over it and pretty soon that cream comes to the top and lets you work it pretty easily, even though it's already starting to get pretty hard. So with a little bit of work, a little bit of muscle back and forth, you get those spots smoothed out nicely. And there you see it all smoothed out, and I let it sit for about another hour, and then I came back and did the corner trowel on it to keep any hard edges or sharp edges from breaking off. So it's important to do that corner trowel step as well.
Alright, I got a little bit of excavation to do right here, but for the most part it slopes over and away. So we're looking pretty good here. I do have a little bit of dry rot I need to fix there. It looks worse than it is, thankfully. It's mostly just in the siding, but I am going to have to replace that rim joist there. But overall, it's looking good.
We really enjoy having these ducks and chickens. They're getting close to laying age. We should start seeing eggs out of them pretty quick, but in the meantime we just enjoy feeding them and seeing them and taking care of them. They've been a lot of fun to have. And also Dee Dee's garden's been doing well. There's a look at one of the yellow squashes coming out of it. Thanks for coming along on the journey today, guys.
Nice looking squash.